So for the UK system, they are actually making reference to the BSEN ISO standard, the 19650 document, which provides an industry-developed standard to describe the state of developments of various systems, assemblies, and components within the BIM model. Right? So this standard is included in a named framework document called the Specification for Information Management for the capital delivery phase of construction projects using building information modeling. Now, unlike the US LOD system, for the UK system, there is altogether 7 levels. Okay, 7 levels. Okay, they call it level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. Unlike the UK, they call it 100, 200, 300, 350, 400, 500. Okay, so what is level 1 for the this UK system? So level 1, basically you are looking at this. So they also try to tie the level of development to the particular project stages, okay, or project stages. So the very first stage of a project, they call it the project brief, and they call it level of model definition. But sometimes we use a short form of LOD, okay. So LOD and this LOMD, okay, we use it interchangeably, alright. But it's at level 1, okay, from the beginning, okay, and it's what we call a brief, and at this particular level of the detailedness in the model, okay, the graphical model in fact will either be non-existent or it will just inherit the information from the existing building or the infrastructure, okay. So the level of development for model that is at this 1, okay, what can the model be relied upon for? Okay, well, it is a model information communicating the brief, okay, the performance requirement, the performance benchmark, and the site constraint. So you can see at the level 1, there is very little information that you want to put into your BIM model, okay. But as you go on from level 1 to level 2 and so on and so forth, more and more information will then be built into your BIM model. So let's look at this level 2. For level 2, the project stage will then move on, okay, from a brief to a concept stage, okay, concept stage. So the amount of information that you want to put into your this 3D BIM model, okay, so the graphical design, okay, may only show the massing diagram, okay, or to specify a symbol in 2D to represent a general element. So again, you don't put in too much information at this particular stage of the project because it is still the concept stage. Yeah. So it's models which communicate the initial response to the brief, okay, aesthetic intent, and outline the performance requirement. So the model can be used for early design, development, analysis, and coordination. Okay, the model can be used for basic coordination, sequencing, and estimating purpose. So again, at the level 2, okay, it is still very little information, and the information is very general. Okay, so when it goes to level 3, then it becomes more developed and more information is then packed into the model. Okay, so let's look at the level 3. So for level 3, the project stage is at the definition stage where you are able to then carry out a developed design, okay, for the project. Also at the design stage, the object should be represented in 3D with the specification attached. The level of detail should be, as a minimum, represent the space allocation for the products, access space for maintenance, installation, and replacement space in addition to its operational space. Generalized systems with approximate quantities, size, shape, location, and orientation. So now you will need to model, okay, the quantity, the size, the shape, and the location of your building elements if you like. Okay. So what the model can be used for when you are looking at this LOD3, okay, under the UK system? Well, it is a dimensionally correct and coordinated model which communicates the response, okay, to the brief, aesthetic intent, and some performance information that can be used for analysis, design development, and early contractor engagement. The model can be used for coordination, sequencing, estimation purposes, including agreement of a first stage target price. Okay, so that is for UK system LOD level 3. And then it goes on to level 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's look at level 4 next. So for level 4, the project then goes to the design stage, and in terms of the level of model definition, it is at the production stage. So at this stage, the object should be based on a generic, that means a general representation of the element. The specification properties and attributes of the design allows selection of manufacturer's product unless the product is nominated, okay, free issue or already selected, or it is a design intent model representing the end of the design stages. And what can this model be used for? Okay, again, it is a dimensionally correct and coordinated model that can be used to verify compliance with these regulatory requirements. The model can be used as a starting point for incorporation of specialist contractor design models, and can include information that can be used for fabrication, coordination, sequencing, and estimation purposes. So that is at level 4. Yeah. So let's go on to level 5. At level 5, the project staging is at the build and commissioning stage, okay, where the level of model definition is at the installation stage. So at this level, okay, or at the build and the commission this stage, any generic object should be replaced with object procured from the manufacturer, okay, or any essential information to be retained shall be reattached or relinked to the replacement object. That means now we are going to put in enough details for the fabrication or for the construction of the particular component. It will not be general anymore. Alright. So this model then packs a lot of information, and what can it be used for? Again, it is an accurate model, okay, of the asset before and during construction, incorporating coordinated specialist subcontractor design models and associated this model information. Okay, the model can be used for sequence of installation, capture the installed information. Right, so that is the level 5. So once the construction is completed, then the building of the facility gets handed over to the end user. So in terms of the project staging, it is at the project stage 6, okay, the handover and the closeout. And your model then becomes the as-built model. Okay. So at the handover and the closeout stage, all necessary information about the product shall be included in the handover documents and attached to the commissioning and handover documentation. And the as-constructed model should represent the as-constructed project in content and dimensional accuracy. Yeah. And then this model, okay, or what can it be used for? Again, it is an accurate record of the asset as constructed, okay, at the handover, including all the information required for operation and maintenance. Yeah, that is at level 6. And there's one last level called level 7 for this UK system. For the UK system, they also talk about the building of the facility while it is still in operation. Okay. So the model, while it is still in operation, okay, at this in use stage, the object information shall be updated because the building will undergo day-to-day, replacement, okay, sometimes refurbishment after a certain number of years. Okay, so it will be updated whenever there's any change to the building components. Okay, or with supplementary information such as a maintenance record, replacement dates, objects that have been changed or replaced with a different equipment to be updated into the model accordingly. So in a sense, that model is a continuous life model, okay? So an updated record of the asset at a fixed point in time, incorporating any major changes made since the handover, including performance, okay, condition data, and all the information required for operation and maintenance. So in a way, that is the difference between the US, the system and this UK system. Yeah. So you can do a comparison between the UK system with the US system, okay, in general, okay. So in this case, the US system, they are just looking at the LOD 100, 200, 300, 350 is somewhere in between. They didn't put it down, okay, and 400 and 500 in comparison to the UK system, okay. So there's no comparison for the US, okay, with the UK stage 1, okay. And there's no comparison for the US system with the UK system of level 7 for the building that is under operation, okay. But the rest of the stages, okay, UK level 2 is quite similar to LOD 100, okay, in the US, okay, where it is the amount of information you pack into a 3D model during the conceptual stage, okay. So concept or the massing model, including basic areas, volume, orientation, and cost. Okay, all right. Rebar is basically in the UK system. Okay, so don't need to be too worried about that. When you are talking about the developed stage, okay, the US this system will be LD 200 and the UK system will be 3. Okay, where you have a generalized system with approximate quantity, size, shape, location, and orientation. Okay, right? And in the production stage, you are talking about LD 300 or the UK LD 4. Okay, where you have the technical design model. Okay, accurate and coordinated model elements that can be used to estimate cost and allow regulatory checking and compliance. Okay, and then after it go on to the installation stage, okay, which is equivalent to LD 400 and the UK LD 5, where the model is suitable for fabrication and assembly. There will be accurate requirements and specific components. Okay, and finally as built, okay, or as built, that's LD 500 or UK level 6, where the detail of how the projects has been constructed, okay, for use in operation and maintenance is produced into the model. Okay, and UK has this the standalone, okay, the model in use, okay, which I think is also very useful, okay, from end user point of view, simply because the building continue to be in use, and therefore the digital twin, which is the 6D model, if you like, okay, or the UK LOD, okay, 7 type of a model, should be used, okay, for the building owner to continue to maintain or operate his building or facilities. This table shows you, okay, if you compare the different types of models, okay, or with the amount of information that you want to put in, okay, or to decide which is the appropriate level of development into the model. For example, if you are doing site planning, okay, it will be unnecessary to have a very detailed LOD 500. It will be unnecessary. Even 400 also is unnecessary, because for site planning, okay, everything is very conceptual. Probably LOD 200 is enough. All right. But if you are looking at the coordination and the review and the crash detection, okay, or maybe the LOD 300, okay, will be more suitable, okay. Or if you are looking at the quantity taking off and review, perhaps LOD 400 will be best, okay, all right. Or 4D sequencing, okay, maybe looking at the LOD 400. So it really depends on what you are using the model for when you require the amount of information to be put into the model. So that involves resources. So the stakeholder need to be very careful what is the LOD that they are specifying for that particular model at that particular stage.